Hey, it's Heather here. If you're a first time viewer, I just get on here and vlog and talk about all kinds of random things, and talk about my life and going through battling depression and shit like that. And I don't know. And it's like the past few days, my phone was messed up and I wasn't able to get stuff loaded, and so I missed out on putting up videos that I wanted to. And when I want to talk about something, I want to talk about it. And so it was really frustrating because it was really stuff that I wanted to put out and everything. I'm not disingenuine in that way or whatever. It's I just, I genuinely do want to, put it out. That's the reason I shoot the video, and I hope it uploads and everything else. But my phone's memory's full and all kinds of crap, and I don't know. I've done everything I can think of. I've moved apps, I've deleted stuff, and it's still just as wonky and fucked up as it always has been, kinda. I mean, at least I'm able to actually shoot videos, but I don't know if it's that. I don't know if it's the cold weather. I don't know if cold weather even affects things like that, but I feel like it does, in all honesty. And right now I'm sitting in the floor in my living room because I only got one heater in the house. I need to get another one, and it's kind of cool in here, but it's not cold. But I've been kind of laying up in my bed and stuff, because my bedroom's really tiny. And so it stays warm and everything. But I don't know. I was gonna try to wait until later tonight to shoot a video and talk about things, and that way I had more stuff to kind of talk about, I guess. But I literally just woke up maybe an hour ago. I don't even think I've been up an hour, and it's 5:30 in the afternoon. And I didn't go to bed until 6 something this morning. And I used to work third shift, so yeah. And so I don't know if my body's trying to get back used to that timing, or if it's just my depression's kicking in really heavy and everything, because it's since I've been doing these, I've only been doing vlogs for 2 months and everything. It's a thing to get up every day and shoot the video, and I'm out of work right now, and so it's don't forget to shoot your video. Oh yeah, I'm going to shoot a video. Oh yeah, I'm going to put one up. And then sometimes I end up putting up 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and I think one day I even put up as many as 6 or 7 videos just talking about stuff, because I was really excitable that day, and I was I want to talk about this, I want to talk about that, oh my god, And so I kind of, I guess you could say, wasted all my energy to a degree. If you're somebody that's oh my god, stop rambling, shut the fuck up. But I spend a lot of time talking about things and everything, and so that's just the way I am, I guess. That's what I do. I don't know. I honestly don't know what to say to that, if somebody takes offense. But, I got on here yesterday, and I put up a video, where I read a, little child story that I wrote for my niece or whatever. And I was talking about how nobody's ever cared about my talents or whatever for writing and stuff. And even though it's not the best story, it's not even the longest, but it was fairly longer than I wanted it to be when I wrote it, because I was expecting to do 5 pages, and it ended up to be a 15-page book. And so I had to find 15 photos, because it was about her dog, to put in the book, and everything. And but anyways, it's a child's book, so it's not that long and stuff, and it's not that elaborate. But I talked about how I've always been into poetry, I've always been into writing all kinds of stuff. I had a notebook when I was younger that I trashed, and I could have swore, or I can swear, I guess you'd say, that some music that's come out over the years and been popular, I'm that was mine, you fucking bitch, you're a thief. And so, and I didn't have no body to help, no license, no nothing like that. I'm 30 years old. I just got my license. I have a 12-year-old child that I've been a stay-at-home mom to for most of her life, except for the last 4 years I've been working and providing for us and trying to build us a foundation and a family. And I don't know. Life's just hell. But I honestly, like, I don't even know. And then on top of it, like, there was this coworker that I met, and like, people are just, I don't know what's wrong with the world. I don't know what's wrong with the world. I don't know what's wrong with people. I don't know why people are so hateful. I don't know why people are so hateful just to me. Maybe they're just hateful to me. I've never been able to step into somebody else's shoes and be like, hey, are people this hateful to you? I've never had that type of friendship that I'm like, hey, does this much shit happen to you? Are people this hateful to you? And that's even like trying to clear some space on my phone today. It was like, oh, you can't receive text messages. And I'm like, haha, bullshit. And I'm like, I'll find a way to receive text messages, because the only one that I would be even receiving them from is my child right about now. And I'm like, I've got to be able to receive text messages, from my kid. Because my family took temporary custody of her. It's been almost a year ago, and I've been trying to get her back, and that's just been hellacious, to say the least. And I mean, to have somebody be, your everything for 12 years, or 11 years, because she wasn't 12 at the time when she left. And then even the 9 months I was pregnant and everything, like, my whole world has been wrapped around my kid, and then just boom, like, gone, and then coming home, and I built our home for us. And, like, even the way that my living room's done up, like, you can see behind me there's a pink curtain. It's like I got a green curtain, a pink curtain, and then another green curtain. And then my couch is like this weird pink mauve color or whatever. And that pink curtain that's hanging back behind me, that was my daughter's. Like, that used to be in her old bedroom of the apartment that we used to live in when I was with my husband and shit. And like, so I didn't make, not, the only room that's even kind of my room is my bedroom. And then even at that, like, some of the shit that I got in there, in all honesty, because I was like, I'm not going through and redecorating shit and buying new decorations when I can be grateful for what I do have. And I had a bunch of decorations that were like outdoorsy kind of like stuff that I had with my husband, and I was like, fuck it, I'll keep it. Whatever, I'm broke. I don't have the money, and then I don't know how long we're going to be here, and then come to find out I'm not going to be here whenever my lease is up. And I've always had a feeling that this is not going to be like a permanent home, but damn it, like, I get tired of fucking moving. That's another thing, too, with my kid. We've literally moved almost every 2 years of her life. We've been here 4 years, or she was here 3, and this is the longest she would have been anywhere. And even though that works out well for her, because, like, she's a Gemini. So Geminis and Sagittarius especially, like, they love to be on the go and everything. And so that made up for the fact of me not having a license and being able to take her on the go and everywhere she wants to, because she wants to just get out and run, because she's like my sister. My sister's Gemini, too. My sister cannot set her ass still at all. But that kind of made up for it. It's like, oh, well, we got to move every 2 years. Pack up the shit and let's go somewhere else, But for me, I'm a Leo, and then I'm like Cancer, dealing with Vedic astrology, and it's like I'm a homebody. And, like, literally, I lived in the same place for 15 years, and then I've moved every 2 years for the past 15 years, practically. And it's just been like, can I just stay somewhere for like a while? And so I had a falling out with my landlord, and I'm just like, I'm done. Like, I can't deal with you. Like, you've hurt my feelings, and like, I'm sensitive, and I'm battling depression, and my kid's gone, so you're practically kicking me while I'm already down. So whenever my lease comes up for renewal, I'm gonna have to fucking leave, come hell or high water, even though I don't want to. And it's like, I feel like I'm self-sabotaging myself in saying what I said, and not going back and apologizing to her and being like, can I please stay? But at the same time, I'm like, fuck this shit. I would rather fucking die, I feel like, than to apologize to somebody who has treated me with such disrespect. Like, she told me to make this place my home. You know, she's like, oh, you know, you're great, you know, you're this, you're that, you know, as a tenant. I'm great, you know, or whatever as a tenant. I mean, hell, 4 years, you know? And she's like, just the floor, the floor. Well, she knows I got pets. And I'm like, okay, the floor, you know, the floor. But guess what? I'm still living here, so what good's it gonna do unless you put down a floor that's gonna withstand the pets? And I know you're not going to. I know you're just gonna put down the same laminate shit. So I'm not gonna pay 2 and 3 and 4 times for the fucking floor to be replaced with this laminate shit that's gonna get destroyed because guess what? My dogs have nails. They run and it chips it. And then I like to clean the floor. So I like to not just barely mop it like you've suggested. No, I like to actually mop the fucking floor. And so I'm sorry that, you know, it's just like fucking cardboard with a fucking picture of wood on the top of it and it gets wet and that's all she wrote. Like, it's just shitty floor. And so anyways, that's the end of that. Like, dealing with that shit. That's just a whole bunch of shit all in itself. But I got on here and I said all that about the music thing, and then I was sitting like last night or this morning, because like I said, I didn't go to bed till like 6 in the morning. But I was sitting and I was like, should I put that out there? I don't know if I should have put that out there. People might turn on me just like, you know, people like my parents have tried to get kind of. But, I mean, it's never really came to a head on anything like for me to even say that to them. And it's just, I feel like it would if they saw that video and they'd be like, you're full of shit, you can't write anything. And then it would make me mad, and then I would go and read everything that I got in this new notebook that I've wrote. And then because like it wouldn't have music to it, you know, and some of it's songs, or I wouldn't have the editing skills, and I don't have a computer to edit the way that I want to, you know, and everything like that, then I would be like, I just threw it out there. And that's even like my niece's book. Like, I just threw it out there, just kind of be like, yes, I can do this. You know, I'm not lying. Like, I'm capable of rhyming. I'm capable of writing things. I'm capable of that knowledge. I'm capable of that wisdom. Because I've just, like, literally, nobody's ever believed in me. I don't know how else to put it. I mean, that's just simply put. Nobody's ever believed in me, and the people that did, they all died when I was young. And I'm so alone. And I'm so depressed. And I'm so tired. And it's like, I don't know what my life's purpose is. Like, I don't know what God wants to do with me or what He is doing with me or anything like that. And then, like, one example I was going to get into, like, a few minutes ago that I kind of got sidetracked from is deleting messages off my phone. That way I can receive them. And there was this woman that when my child was first taken from me, she was helping me, and she was taking me to court and everything. And then she just stopped. And she was a coworker, and she just like cold turkey kind of stopped. And I was like, what have I done? Have I done something to make you stop? And I was like, I don't think I've done anything. And maybe the only thing that I could even think of that I did or that I had done or whatever is like, people at work would be like, she called out, you know, have you heard from her? And I'd be like, yeah. And like, she had an abscess, you know, and like really bad and everything. And I was like, and plus she's going through a lot emotionally, I believe, because she'd had a family member pass away, you know. And then they would throw off and be like, well, I think she's just drunk, you know. And I'd be like, well, I don't know. I'd be like, she does drink, but I don't know if that's why she called out of work. I don't believe so. I believe it's because she's, you know, she's in pain because she's got an abscess and she don't have money to get her teeth pulled, you know, and everything. And so, anyway, she just stopped, like, talking to me. and she stopped being friendly, and, or whatever. And even though she's on my Facebook right now, she may not be in a week, because I put up a Facebook post and I was like, anybody that wants to be my friend, like it, and if you don't, like, I get ill real quick with people, and I get short real quick with people, and I've done this before in the past, but I've always retracted it. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, did I have to retract it again? And then I'm like, no, I'm not going to do this shit again. Even if I only got one goddamn friend on my fucking Facebook, then that's all that I got. And even if I ain't got that, then I ain't got that. Like, I'm tired of pussyfooting around, I guess is the best way to put it, with people. Like, I need people in my life that can be encouraging, that can help me. And that's just like even my one friend that I do have that has helped me out, Jen, and I've mentioned her a lot, and I don't even know how good of friends we are, because I have trust issues out the asshole pretty much and everything. And so I was sitting talking to her. She's like, yeah, I read that post, where you said this. And in that post, I also wrote how I don't give a shit about nobody except for me and my kid. So I knew she had read that, and I knew that's kind of why she was a little bit, because she's kind of, and then even at that, like I said, I don't know how good friends we are. And, like, I just told her straight up. I was like, I hate to say that and everything. I was like, but that's where I'm at. I said, because I've always put so much into everybody. I've always been so believing and so caring and so loving and so compassionate and everything with everybody, and mainly with my family, but with people and interactions and stuff. I said, I'm at a point where I'm like emotionally drained, and I need somebody that's willing to put that back into me and willing to risk, putting that back into me. And I need them to believe in me when I say, I'm going to be your friend too, and I'm going to help you in the future when I can. But right now, it's like I'm so broken, I can't help nobody. And I need people to help me. And I feel like sick, nauseous even saying that right now, because I'm just like, can I just fucking die? Like, God, can you just fucking kill me? Like, because I'm tired. I'm so tired. And I'm tired of the emotional turmoil of life in general. And it's always been emotional turmoil. And I'm just like, is it always going to be like this? And I watch things and I see things, and I see people that they have it worse. And I'm like, appreciate this, appreciate that, but we live in such a fucked up world nowadays. Like, and maybe it's always been this fucked up. And maybe it was just our imagination that it was never this fucked up. Maybe it's always been this fucked up. But anyways, so here I am, and I write a mutual person a few months ago and tell them, hey, I had a falling out with my landlord, and if things get bad, can I come stay with y'all, And this girl goes and tells this woman that once helped me and, with my kid and taking me to court and stuff or whatever. She tells her, and I know she does because this woman texts me for the first time in months. I've not heard anything from her. And she said, hey, are there any apartments available where you're at? And I just thought to myself, there you go. There you go. You were one of those that probably, seen this apartment available before, I ever rented it years ago. And then I took it, and then you're like, oh, greedy little person takes an apartment. How cocky of them. And then I'm only 30, so I guess I'm not entitled to have an apartment in most people's minds. Even though I've went to work, I've got the money, and I've paid the bills. And then even when I've not been working and I've not had the money, I've made arrangements with the landlord. And I'm like, I'll pay you this much this week, and I'll pay you that much this week. And I always catch up, and I always catch myself up. And whenever tax season would roll around, if I wasn't completely caught up, then I would take my tax money and catch myself back up. And I've borrowed money from my grandmother and from my dad. Like, I think my parents paid my rent twice, and my grandmother paid my rent like 3 times. And I tried to pay my grandmother back, and she wouldn't take it. I think she took one payment back. but she wouldn't take the others because she's just like that. And then my parents and me, we had a falling out, and they took my fucking kid. And so it's like, you're funny if you think I'm going to pay you back for you fucking helping me out for 2 months, and you took my damn kid from me, and you devastated the shit out of me emotionally. And so, yeah, my life's kind of fucked up, and I get to come home to an empty apartment that used to have my child in it, that has the reminiscence of my child in every fucking room. And my baby is not here. And it's been 11 months. Like, nobody, unless they've went through it, nobody knows how fucking hard that is. That is like, oh, your kid's dead, but not, That's like the best way that I can think of, to kind of describe it to somebody that, may kind of get it slightly, And it's like, I know that death is a lot worse. And as a matter of fact, the woman that was helping me, she lost one of her sons when he was in his early 20s. And so, I mean, I get it, I get that it's worse and everything, but it's like my child was only 11, and you don't expect for your child to leave you abruptly, like the way that it happened and everything. You expect like tons of arguments, them getting mad and them running away, or you expect, them to stay until they're, 18, or at least until they're 16, And I mean, I was just trying to be a good mom. I was trying to build a life, like, for me and my kid. Like, they wanted me to be stay-at-home mom to her forever, never work a job, never get my license, never drive. And then whenever she was grown up and she's 18 and gone, then just turn around and take care of them, my parents, take care of them, and then only have a learners. That way I could just only be their chauffeur. I'm not stupid. I know what their whole fucking narcissistic fucking gimmick plan was. I'm not an idiot. And I've been trying to break free from that, and then this is what they do to me because, yeah, I got stressed out. Yeah, I battle depression. Yeah, I'm going through some shit. But guess what? Everybody's going through some shit. They're going through more shit than I am, and the fucking courts let them take her from me. And they're going through more shit than me. That is fucking disgusting. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck this world's coming to. I really don't. And then, like I said in my previous video, a guy that's a Marine that's on my Facebook, one of his Marine buddies just committed suicide a few days ago, and I'm just sitting here and I'm like, seems like a good idea. I can see why, and it's like, people are so fucking miserable. It's like, unless you're cruel and sitting there being manipulative and mean and hateful and vindictive and malicious, you don't have happy. Happy doesn't exist. And that is sickening. I don't know. I really don't know. It's like it took everything for me to even get out of the bed. Like, I did not even want to get out of the bed today. Like, I was like, I'm just going to lay here all day because, hey, I only got one heater. It's staying warm in here. I'm not having to worry about too much, and I don't have a lot of food and, like grocery-wise, and I'm not going to die from it. And that's the thing, too. My friend Jen or whatever, like I've said, I don't know, how well the whole friendship thing is with me and her or whatever. Because, like, one day she's like, something another about, well, don't sit there, like, what was it? It was not it was not directed towards me, is the best way I can think of to verbalize it. But she's sitting there and she's kind of talking about stuff, and she's talking about, yeah, and people, like in general. And she's like, yeah, and if you need help, then you need help. And if you need government assistance, then you need government assistance. And so if you need food stamps, then go ahead and get food stamps and get food. That way you have food in your house. And it just come across like it was towards me, because here I am sitting here and I'm not struggling. Like, I can go and buy some food. I just can't buy a lot of food, and I can't buy the best of food right now. And I'm just like, I still even have cans and this and that and food. It's just one of those where you have food, but it's not the food that you want to have, And so it's like, I'm not gonna die. I'm good. I'm alright. Do you know how many people we kill for a fucking can of food a day? Like, and I've fasted before in my lifetime, and even though I haven't fasted, I'm eating every day. But, I mean, I'm not gonna die. And that's even like, what was it? A week and a half ago, I actually went across, like, the way to the store, bought myself some candy bars because, like, I was wanting some. I was wanting what I wanted, and I didn't care if it cost me, $5 or what the fuck ever. I wanted candy. Damn dog ate it. So I was just like, okay, God, I get it, I was like, I get it. But it's like, it took everything for me to even try to get up out of bed today. Because I was just like, why am I not dead? Why haven't I died yet? And the reason I was even like that is because this morning, before I went to bed and everything, I was thinking about love relationships. And we're just going to kind of leave that there. Because if you've watched my previous videos, you'll know kind of the shit involving that. And like I said, I'm not going to talk about it. And it's like, I just got really fucking depressed thinking about that. And then this person, I will say, it's like, they're into darker things than I am, I guess you'd say. And it's not like dark, like, to me, it's just, I don't know. Because everything has light and dark. I have light and dark. My dog has light and dark. My dog has bit me before. My dog has bit my child on the ass one time, and it was fucking hilarious. I ain't even gonna lie. Like, I told her, I was like, don't run. And she ran. And the dog bit through her jeans, her panties, and left a bruised little, like, area on her ass cheek, Like, and that's just like my friend Jen also. She's kind of like, a dog can turn on you, at any time. And it's, and she's very wrapped up in the, biology or whatever. Or I don't know, like the mindset, the anatomy or whatever, like just a dog's being, and it's going to turn on you if it, and her belief in it is more like, they're actually going to like fucking turn on you for no fucking reason if they feel like it. And I firmly disagree. A dog's not going to turn on you without a reason. The reason it bit my daughter that day is because I was training her right before my daughter came home. And I was like, training her to be a guard dog and to bite on command. And I was training her that if anybody ran, to bite them and pull them down to the ground. And my kid came home, and I told my kid, I said, don't go running for about 30 minutes with the dog. I said, play with her. I said, but don't run. I said, because she's got to get out of the mindset that she's not being trained right now. And she was a pup. She was only 8 months old. And I was like, just don't run. 15 minutes in, my kid takes off around the trailer. Dog goes after her. Next thing you know, my kid's on the ground kind of laughing and giggling, but like, ow, that hurt, And she's like trying to primp up to cry, but not, because I'm laughing my ass off. I ain't even gonna lie. And I was like, are you okay? You know? And she's like, yeah, you know. And she got up and she pulled her pants up because it drug her pants and her panties down, you know. She pulled them up and I seen that there was a clear hole through them. And I seen her skin and it was starting to bruise on her ass cheek, you know. And I was like, let's go in and doctor your butt. But I believe that if a dog bites you, there's a reason. Like, it's not just, you know, I believe they're going to have a reason for their misconduct or bad behavior or whatever. But anyways, so this person or whatever has this darker side to them or whatever and shit, and I'm just like, and then like they have a photo that like it shows like, I guess you'd say like a witchcraft type sign, and I'm just like, and so I've looked into that and I've gotten really heavy back into tarot readings. Tarot readings is not something that's new to me, you know, and I've gotten really heavy into them because, hell, they're all over fucking YouTube for starters. And when you're as lost emotionally as I was over the past few months, you kind of like are grasping at straws and you're like, hey, you know, let's see if this can make any sense or help me out. And it has made sense and it has helped me out to a degree and everything. But then this video that's put up by this other person I'm subscribed to on here, and they talk about religion and stuff and everything. They're like, if this is what happens. First you get into tarot readings, you get into this, you get into that, you get into this, you get into that, and the next thing you know, you're into astral projection and projecting yourself places and this and that and evil. And you best be believing that you're going to need God and the Holy Spirit to get out of that. And that's evil. And that's this and that's that and everything. And the whole time that I was kind of watching this, you know, and everything, I was just like, evil can go both ways, you know. And evil is in everything. And good is in everything. And like I said, there is dark and light to everything. And so I was laying in my bed, earlier or whatever, and I was just like, how fucked up would it be if, let's say, the highest, let's say witches exist, because I'm still just kind of like people that are more maybe spiritually inclined, you know, but let's say witches exist, let's, you know, just give the benefit of the doubt, and wouldn't it be ironic if the highest up witch, if you will, is preaching the strongest heard gospel on the Bible and Jesus Christ? And then, you know, the least magical person, if you will, is preaching on, you know, the darker stuff inside of things. And I was like, wouldn't that be fucked up? Like, and how, like, my mind just, I don't know. My mind just thinks of weird shit like that all the time. Like, let's flip it and, you know, let's, you know, see what that thought process would get you, you know, and how fucked up that would be. And I don't know. And so I was just like, I don't know who to trust other than God. And God's got me this far and I don't even know why. And so here I am, and so I'll get my ass up out of bed, and so I got my ass up out of bed. And then even at that, there was like a mess that my dogs made, and I was like, I don't even care to clean it up. And it's like I had to push myself, and I was like, but I do. And I was like, but I care more, in all honesty. I was like, I want to get on YouTube and go ahead and shoot my video. And then I was like, no, I'm going to wait until later tonight to do it. And then I was like, fuck, I don't know what I'm going to do. And then I was like, fuck, I don't care. And then I was like, I don't give a shit about anything. And then I was like, why the fuck? And I was like, you know, and that's just like also another thing, conversation with my friend Jennifer or whatever, where she's like, You know, the biggest thing is like the mundane tasks of the day, you know, like everyday things, you know, that's just like bleh, you know, like get up, take a shower, get up, do the dishes, get up, do this, get up, do, you know, and there's the saying, what is it, idle hands are the devil's play toy, you know, and so it's like get up and serve and get up and do, you know, and everything, and be like a robot and everything. And it's like, but then in that, like, that's what society wants out of you. And it's just all, everything's just all coming to a head, kind of, I feel like, with everybody. Not just with me, but with everybody. And I'm just, like, sitting here just shaking my fucking head. And I'm like, can we just, can something else happen? Can we move past or whatever? Like, I don't know. I really don't know what this world's coming to, or this life, or anything. And then it's like, I feel so oddly linked to so much, and I hate it. And I've always hated it, but then I've tried to not hate it, because how do you hate something that's part of you when you're trying to love yourself and have enough respect for yourself, you know? And that's just like, you know, the songs that I lost, you know, and I threw them away, and then, you know, I'm hearing them on the radio, and I'm like, I hate people, you know? And I'm just like, God, you know, in this life, and I've actually sat here before, and what is it? It's called The Truman Show, and it's a movie with Jim Carrey in it, and it's where there are cameras everywhere in this person's world, and in his world or whatever, and his world is actually just like, you know, a fucking, you know, TV show. Like, it's just a fucking studio set up, you know, or whatever, with scenes and, or with, I mean, it has everything in it. It's like, it has a whole town, it has a city, you know, or whatever, it has the stores, you know, and he has these people that he's, you know, and I've sat there before with my life and the way that I felt, and then I've talked about how my dad has been so fucking controlling, it's ridiculous. And then my kid's ex, how he's like, I was going to say something kind of mean, but I'm not going to, but he has done drugs, and there's a lot of druggies around here, and these druggies know him, and then through that, they end up knowing me, and I don't even know how or why, other than they just do. So I don't know if he gets high and he talks about me, or if he still has letters from where I wrote him when he was in prison years ago, and they stumble around in his closet, and then they find the letters, and then they read them, and so then they're like, who is this, you know? I don't know what the deal is. All I know is I'm known more than I want to be known for being his ex, and it's just been a headache and everything. And so here I am dealing with that, but then just coincidences, you know, like things just popping up. And that's another thing too, like they've got these memes out that's people are putting all over Facebook right about now, and it's Dexter off of Dexter's Laboratory, and there's another character that's named similar in something, and I'm not even gonna, and it has to deal with the girl that I liked and shit. And these memes are making fun of Southern accents and the way that we say shit. And people are putting them up on Facebook, and I'm just like, can y'all stop? Because it makes me feel like it is directed straightly towards me, you know. And so, like, you know, talking about the movie The Truman Show with Jim Carrey in it, I'm like, is this my fucking life? Is this my fucking, like, what the hell is going on? Like, why is there so many coincidences? Like, you know, and it's enough to drive me mad if I sit and think about it. So I try to not sit and think about it, and I try to do the mundane tasks of the day, you know, and just be like, don't think about it. You'll drive yourself crazy trying to figure it out, you know, and you'll drive yourself, like, you will drive yourself, you can drive yourself mad trying to figure out your own fucking mind. So you sure as hell can drive yourself mad trying to figure out somebody else's fucking mind. I ain't got time for that shit. I ain't even got time to figure out my own goddamn mind. I've got a life to live. I've got a God to serve, and I've got some purpose because I keep waking up every fucking day. Now, whether I know what the hell the damn purpose is from one day to the next, or some days I'm like, yeah, this is my purpose. I know what my purpose is. That's just like with my kid. It's like, oh, my kid's my purpose. Now my kid's not here and hadn't been for 11 months. So I'm like, okay, what's my purpose? Even looking at the clock right now. Numerology, dealing with that. It is 6/13. It just turned to 6/14. But 6/13 is my ex-husband's birthday. And I've been seeing shit like that dealing with him here lately. And then before that, oh my God, it was insane dealing with this girl. And I was like, what did you do to me? And then tarot readings are even saying, oh, they've put spells on you and shit like that. And it kind of creeps me the fuck out because I did sleep really good whenever I was hanging out with her. And shit. And I don't have time for this shit. I don't know who the hell would. Even if somebody did have the time to be like, yes, I'm going to be pagan, or I'm going to, worship, Satan, or I'm going to do these rituals and spells and shit and all this and everything. If people even had the time for that, like, what are you doing with your life? Like, legit, what are you doing with your life if you have time for that? And I have time for the things that I make time for too, just like watching movies or shooting damn YouTube videos, but what are you doing with your life? Like, that's what it makes me want to say, because it's kind of, I don't want to say it's laughable or like I'm degrading it, because I'm not. I'm really not. Like, because I'm very spiritual. And so that's like even people that do go to church and they pray for days or they worship for days, or like I've said, I've fasted before in the past and shit like that. And, I've done it before, strictly for religious purposes, And so I'm just like, I guess it just boils down to, why would you want to be bad when you can be good? And that's like the gist of everything in the world, and emotions, and dealing with depression and shit like that. Why would you want to sit and be miserable? Why would you want to be bad when you can pick your ass up and be good? And then this guy that's also on my Facebook, this older gentleman, he shared this thing where this girl had wrote on a poster board as a sign. It said, committing suicide does not mean that there will never be any more problems. Committing suicide means that there will never be any more good days, or something along that line. Practically saying, if you commit suicide because you're like, oh, this is the worst day ever, this is the worst day of my life, so I'm going to kill myself because it's never going to get any better, I know it's not, and then you kill yourself, you're giving into that. But if you get your ass up, if you fucking do the shit, if you force yourself to just hold on for one more hour, for one more minute, one more second, for one more day, for one more week, then you're giving yourself the opportunity, at least, for good to still occur. And then I was even thinking about that this morning, because I ain't gonna lie, I'm on some heavy depression thought shit, and I was like, that's the reason people get depressed, though, is because nothing good happens anymore. Nothing good happens anymore. What the hell good happens? Like, fucking hell. Like, my life, the small goods have happened is the best way to word it. And by small goods is, I mean, like, oh, I got $5 and this DVD that I've wanted for 5 years, it's $5 now, and I can actually buy the son of a bitch. Woohoo! And instead of it being like, oh, when it first came out, I could actually afford it. No, that shit don't happen. It's like there's no high, there's no adrenaline, there's no happy anymore. Happy is like happy has been measured out into just bullshit is the best way to put it. And when you come from a generation of my parents and my grandparents, but mainly my parents, because my grandparents know. Because my grandparents, they lived through the Great Depression and stuff like that. So, like, I've heard the stories. And that's the reason when their babies grew up, my parents' generation, they was like, go out and live life and do what you can when you can do it and have fun and spend all the money you want. And just like, Madonna, I'm a material girl in a material world, and like people went into debt out their ass in with credit cards. And, well, if I want it, I'm going to get it because I might die tomorrow. So fuck the bill, fuck having to pay the shit. Fuck the economy. Fuck everything. If I want it, I'm going to go out and get it. And so we have these older generations that have raised my generation. And, I mean, that's just like my dad. Whenever I heard him, before I quit school, he's like, I didn't think she was going to graduate on time. I guess I'm going to have to sell my motorcycle so I can pay for her to graduate. Like, and then they sit there and they're like, do you know how much we've risked for you? Do you know how much we could have had if it wasn't for you? Do you know how much this if it wasn't for you? Do you know how much we've spent on you? Do you know how much money we spent, and everything? And it's like, did your parents ever say that to you? Because I don't recall. Hell, we lived with them until I was 7. I don't ever recall my grandparents looking at my parents and going, do you know how much money I used to spend on you when you was a kid? Do you know how much you owe me? I don't recall them ever fucking saying a thing like that. As a matter of fact, my grandmother, that is still alive, doesn't even say that to my dad or my mom. She'll say it behind closed doors because she said it to me. She said, do you know that I actually lent them this and lent them that and let them borrow this much money? And if I wouldn't have let them borrow this much money, they would have done lost their car. They would have done lost their trailer. They would have done lost the property. They would have done lost this. They would have done lost. They would have, and she's like, do you realize how much money? And she would tell me, and it just made me hate my parents even more, in all honesty, because I'm just like, and yet they still go out and trade in their car every 5 years and get a new car, and they do all this shit. And if I want it, I'm going to get it. And that's just what they done. Like, and the courts allowed them to take my only fucking kid from me. Way to go, fucking courthouse where I live. Y'all are so goddamn smart. But any fucking way, it's like, I don't even know. Oh, I don't. Oh. My head is hurting because I'm bitching so much. Like, my head is literally hurting. Like, fucking hell, man. Like, that's like my mom. My mom has a collection of, like, she has collections. Like, I don't even have collections. I have half-ass collections of shit. Because that's all I could ever afford. And even at that, it's a half-ass collection. My daughter don't even have a collection of anything. She has starters of collections of things that she used to like, but she don't even have collections. But my mom, and her generation, my mom has full collections of things that she just wanted to collect, And I'm just like, do you get what that, like, I feel like I've been raised by morons. Like, it's like, what is it? Is it Melman, or maybe I always refer to him and I don't know why. And it's not him off of Madagascar, and I don't know why, but it's fucking All Dogs Go to Heaven, and it's the little fat bulldog, and he's like, morons! I'm surrounded by morons, And like, that's the way that I have felt growing up when I was living with my parents. As I was like, morons, I'm surrounded by morons. They would literally sit and bitch about fucking money problems all the fucking time. And yet they would still go out and spend money all the fucking time. And I'm like, I'm like, okay, 2 plus 2 equals 4, right? And they're like, yes. And I'm like, okay, if you have money problems and then you go and spend money, don't you think you're going to have a money problem even worse than what you had before? Like, it's like common sense factor. But it's like their generation grew up with their family literally being like, because their family came from a generation, like, now granted, I didn't have any, I had a few family members that passed away with not great health, but for as far as like just sickness and dying, for as far as my grandparents, like, losing siblings or anything like that or whatever, and life's short and all that, I'm not really sure. I don't think so. But for as far as my great-grandparents, I probably did. And for the majority of everybody, we probably all did, And so it's like, oh, life's short. You could die any day, and we have no idea how long life's going to be and stuff like this and everything, And so, make the most of it, And so by the time my parents' generation came along, by the time the people that were born, I would say anywhere from the 40s to the fucking, 60s or whatever, and their parents had been through the hell that they had been through and everything, their parents was like, we're going to work our ass off and take care of our babies and give our babies the best of everything. And we're going to let our babies have fun, and if they want a motorcycle, they can have it. If they want a car, we're going to get it for them. If they want this, we're going to, and even if we can't get it for them, we'll be like, hey, get a job, and I'll drive you to work every day, and I'll never bitch about it, and I'll never be like, you owe me gas money. And shit like that, like they do to us. No, they just fucking drive you, they'd fucking take you, and they'd let you earn your money, and they'd let you buy your own goddamn car, and they'd let you do your shit, and they didn't bitch at you for it, because you were their pride and joy. You were the apple of their eye. You were their everything. That's just like my fucking mom. I'm trying to talk to her about, do you know, like, before I got my license, like, I just got my license this month. Before I got my license, like, talking to my mom's like, well, like, it's no big deal. She's like, well, there's plenty of people that don't have their driver's license, and there's plenty of people that and they don't want it, and and I didn't want mine. And it was your dad that had to teach me how to drive, and I was even scared then, and I didn't want mine, And I'm like, yes, but that's the difference. I wanted mine since the time I was fucking 15. Hell, if I could have had it before then, I would have fucking wanted the son of a bitch. I'm like, that's the difference between me and you, is what you wanted versus what I wanted. You wanted other things, and you got other things. You wanted a fucking, what was it? A diamond necklace and a rabbit fur coat when you were in fucking high school. I wanted to fucking drive. You got the shit. Why didn't I get the shit that I wanted? Like, and trying to explain that to this moronical mentality of, well, just be happy with what you got. And it's like, look in the fucking mirror, you fucking stifling ass bitch who's like, oh, just be happy with what you got, and you took my fucking kid from me? I'm sorry, this is where some anger is gonna, like, son of a bitch. Whoa. Ooh, fuck, I'm mad. Fuck, I'm mad. But that's one thing, like, and then the scapegoat of, mental health, and everybody has mental health, and, and all that, like, the generation changed from my parents, well, it's like my grandparents, my parents, me, and even my daughter. Those 4 generations right there, in this last fucking, what is it, century, or whatever. Is it a century? I just can't. I just fucking can't. Like, there is such differences, and you can sit down and you can try to fucking talk and 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 talk, and nothing ever gets anywhere. It's just like, throwing something at a fucking brick wall and expecting it, you know, like throwing a rubber bouncy ball at a fucking brick wall and hoping that it'll knock the brick wall over, and it's never gonna happen. And it's just like, so it's just give up on the past, give up on trying to learn from the past, give up on appreciating the past. And see, that's the thing too, the whole respect shit. Oh, respect your elders, respect us, because we've been through. Okay, let me respect you, but let me also tell you the differences from your fucking time to my fucking time. And that's where they fail. That's where they can't do. They can't get, they don't understand, and they don't care to. And after growing up around them and trying to get them to understand and trying to get them to see and trying to even help them and drag them out of their little hole that they're buried in, you're just like, fuck it. You're just like, I'm done. And see, that's the one thing with my daughter that I was probably a little over-eager about. Like, she knew more about technology than I even did. And I used to, like, cuddle up next to her and be like, show me, you know, teach me. You know, like, I'm intrigued, you know. But then there was times that she'd want to show me stuff, and I'll be like, honey, I just want to watch my VHS tape and just kick it old school, and you sit there on your tablet and do whatever, you know? Like, but I had enough respect to listen to my child, and that's even part of why, to a degree, my child's over there, and to a degree, I've not pushed hard and everything, is because I respect my daughter. And if she wants to stay over there, then she can stay over there. But when she calls, you know, and bitches about something that she might try to put off on me, and I'm not even saying she will, but if she ever calls and tries to put something off on me, it's not going to work out too well, because I'm going to let her know where her responsibilities have failed in that and everything. And then that's another thing too. People get so busy fighting with each other and the generational gap and all that and everything, that they also forget that the environment, like I said in a previous video, the backwards ripple effect. Everything affects everything. They also forget that the environment and the way that the government has changed over just the past century and over, you know, the past few years even, and everything. It is a reflection. It reflects. Everything reverberates back and forth. So whatever you put out, it comes back to you. Whatever anybody puts out comes back to them. And so it's constant and everything. And I don't know how to fix the world. I wish I did. Like, if somebody, like, I wish I did. I don't know. My head's hurting and I'm very angry right now. And then I'll get really depressed, so I might get back on here tonight just to keep myself from getting really depressed. Because that's usually how it happens. I get really passionate, I get really angry about a subject, or my mind gets hung up on thinking about it, and then I get depressed, and then, yeah. But I'm going to end this video, and so I will let you go, and I will catch you later. And if you like my videos, you can comment, you can share, you can like, you can subscribe. Also said that you can write me on Messenger, but my phone's fucked up. So if you want to write me, I guess write me through my email on here, or write me through here if you want to talk, if you need somebody to talk to, and if you think that you'd like to talk to me. Other than that, I'll let you go. Catch you later.